Man, oh man. UFC 315 is just in a few days, and I'm here to give you my predictions for each fight on this card. I want to start off by saying, before I get into the predictions, I would appreciate if you guys left a like on the video. Also, I want to hit 500 subscribers, so hit that sub button. Also, turn the freaking bell on because I will be streaming the entire card for UFC 315, and I don't want you to miss it out. Now, with the shameless plug out of the way, let's start predicting. Katona versus Bekzat, and I'm not trying to pronounce his last name because I'm gonna botch it. Now, Katona, he's like a light veteran. He has decent forward pressure boxing. He has a durable chin, but the thing is, he leaves openings, for counters, and I don't really like that. He also struggles to secure takedowns in top control position. He is coming off a decision loss against Gene Matsumoto, and he lacks one punch power, man. But look, Bekzat, UFC newcomer, crispy kickboxing, sharper leg kicks, and he has heavy hands. He showed resilience. And he actually did have some good scrambles against Umar Nurmagomedov. He does mix his striking with takedowns, with takedown defense. So he has very good takedown defense. And he has good timely scrambles too. I like that about him. And he just has superior accuracy and power. I think that will just overwhelm Brad. And in my opinion, Bekzat will I think he's just going to keep him at distance with kicks and just score. I think this is going to go decision, but I wouldn't mind, or I wouldn't be surprised if it was like a late round finish, maybe the last round, but I'm just gonna go by decision on this one. Moving on, Daniel Santos versus JeongYeong Lee. I'm just gonna call him Lee. I don't want to botch his first name again. A lot of people get mad at me for botching names. I just don't know how to pronounce these names, man. Like Daniel Santos is easy, but when you put me a name like this, JeongYeong Lee, I think that was good, but I'm just gonna call him Lee. But look, Daniel Willie Cat Santos. I don't know where he got that Willie Cat thing from, but I guess Daniel Willie Cat Santos. He's a natural bantamweight moving up on short notice, 2-year layoff, likely going to have a lot of ring rust. He's has a Muay Thai power, but he overcommits, and again he leaves openings. A minimal wrestling threat at featherweight. Lee, on the other hand, 3-inch height and 6-inch reach advantage, which is absolutely insane. Technical kickboxer with crispy footwork and jab. Good wins over Blake Builder, Javid Bashara, if I pronounced that correctly. He did show his heart on the KO loss to Hader Amir. And I think Lee, it will establish jabbing kicks, neutralize Santos' power, and outpoint him over 3 rounds, in my opinion. Moving on to Marc-Andre versus Bruno Silva. I think Marc-Andre, high-paced wrestler with excellent cardio. He has constant pressure. He actually mixes up his striking and takedowns very, very well. He's gritty. He's very, very gritty. Never stops coming forward. Bruno Silva, 1-punch KO power. But on a 4-fight losing streak, his gas tank just diminishes very, very early. Tends to survive rather than dominate. And with that, I think this is an easy fight to predict. I'm just gonna go with Marc-Andre on this. I think he swarms Silva and racks up control time, and he just wins a clear 3-round decision, in my opinion. Moving on to Navajo Stirling versus Ivan Erslan, or Erslan. Yeah, Erslan. Look, 6-0 record with elite kickboxing. Navajo is, obviously you can see the record there. You're not blind. But yeah, he uses his length, jabs, leg kicks. He does a lot of straight punches to score, which is absolutely amazing. He does have the reach advantage, an insane reach advantage too. He has very calm pace, minimal mistakes. He's pretty good on the feet. Even Stirling, aggressive brawler, always hunting for their KO. I think he gasses out and walks into counters in this fight. I think Stirling is just going to stay at range, land volume strike, and just outwork Erslan to a decision. Moving on to Modestas versus Iowan. Again, I'm not gonna try to pronounce these last names because they are going to kill me if I try to pronounce these. But yeah, Modestas, patient striker, good timing, sharp combos, and very good body shots too. I like his body shots. You know, he's hard to take down. He uses his frame because he has a very, very big frame, pause, and he has very good hip positioning too. Very, very, very good hip positioning. And he's riding a 2 finishing streak. He has finished his last 2 opponents. Eon or Iwon, you know, wild power, but he has a little bit of a questionable chin and cardio, in my opinion. You know, he has his wins are just split decisions. He gets very tired as fight wears on. I think this is going to be an easy Modestas decision win. Moving on to Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine, and I'll try it. Jasudavicius. I hope I said that correctly. If not, don't kill me in the comments. I already said this like 3 times. I'm bad with freaking names, okay? Jessica Andrade, you know, former strawweight champ, insane pressure and knockout power, can be outpaced though. She can be outpaced, and she can also be out wrestled. Jasmine, you know, 4-fight win streak, strong wrestling base and top control, good volume, excellent freaking conditioning. And with that, I'm just gonna go with Jasmine. I think Jasmine drags Andrade into a clinch, racks up control time, and just, you know, edges her out in the scorecards. You know what I mean? A typical woman fight. That sounded a little mean, but yeah, I mean, it's the truth. You know, it is just the simple truth. Mike Mallott versus Charles Radtke. Radtke. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Mike Mallott, you know, well-rounded, crispy boxing. Plus, he has effective wrestling, in my opinion, too. He has very, very effective wrestling. You know, he bounced back after the Magni TKO loss. Charles Rock, a heavy left hook, but, you know, he has low volume, and he has kind of a questionable cardio. He resorts to clinching when under fire. I think Mallott mixes his strikes and takedowns, outworks Charles, and claims a clear decision. Moving on to Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle. I'm just going to say Kyle, dude. I'm just going to end it right there. You know, Benoit Saint-Denis, I think this is just, I mean, should I even say it? I mean, even look at the odds, dude. I would be shocked if Saint-Denis really lost this, dude. I'll actually be shocked. Look, guys, don't overcomplicate things. If you are betting, just go beyond Benoit Saint-Denis. I think he's just going to first round KO him, okay? He's going to first round KO him, and that's all I'm going to freaking say about that freaking fight. Alex Grasso versus Natalia Silva. I think Alex Grasso, you know, weak takedown defense. Her durability does keep her in fights, but she lacks explosiveness, in my opinion. Natalia Silva, you know, fast, very good prospect, you know, excellent leg kicks and counters. She does angle off the cage and frustrates her slower opponents. I think Silva is going to stay at range and just jab her to death, you know. Silva by decision. Moving on to Jose Aldo versus Ayman Sahabi. I'm just gonna call him Sahabi. Look, I mean, do I even have to introduce the MMA boxing legend? You know, I mean, very good counters, still surprisingly quick for his age. Strong takedown, very strong takedown defense. And just like, you know, like a savvy veteran, man, you know, Sahabi, basic stand-up special with slow footwork, no wrestling threat. And his lead leg, in my opinion, will be chopped off this fight. It's going to be the big thing of this fight. It's going to be his lead leg. Jose Aldo is just going to eat up his lead leg, and it's going to open up for a Jose Aldo TKO in the 3rd round. I'm going to go Jose Aldo TKO in the 3rd round. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening. Well, the Queen Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. Oh man. Look, Valentina Shevchenko. She is a champion, but she was a former dominant champion. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, her speed, her output has dipped because of her age, and that is as expected. You know, she relies on counters and judo, and she hasn't been that active. She, you know, she's 37 years old, man. But like Manon, look, she's strong. And which is crazy is that Manon is actually like 2 years older than her, I believe. But look, Manon, like strong striker, heavy side kicks and body work, excellent takedown defense and relentless pace. And I'm not gonna lie to you. What's the odds on this? Yeah, I mean, even the odds, they know. I mean, even the odds know, man. You know, Fiorot controls. I think Fiorot is gonna control the distance and just land kicks and combos, and I think she's gonna win like 4 out of the 5 rounds, or maybe actually I need to put some respect on Valentina. I'll say 3 out of the 5 rounds in a close fight. I think that's what I have. It's gonna be a close fight, and yeah, I'm gonna go with Fiorot by decision. Now to the main event of the evening. Look, before we get started, I just want to say, make sure you guys leave a like. You know, I mean, I've been absolutely. I mean, my last predictions has been like, what is my rate? I need to calculate my rate, but I know it's around 70 to 80%. You know, I've been only getting like 2 or 3 fights wrong max. So I mean, if you guys are enjoying these predictions, again, make sure you guys leave a like, hit that sub button, and also turn that bell on, guys, because I am going to be streaming this entire card like I do with every freaking card, Apex, Fight Nights, everything. Okay, I'm going to be streaming it. Now the main event. Look, man, a lot of people are counting JDM out, man. He's the best boxer in the division. He's a very good scrambler. He does fade a little bit, but I think Belal and him are just they have the same type of pace, you know what I mean? They're just relentless, you know. Belal does have elite cardio, and the thing is, a lot of people think that Belal is not gonna be able to stand with JDM, but I think he has awkwardly good sharp boxing. He just has some awkward, but it's sharp, good boxing in my opinion. Obviously, he's a huge wrestling threat. He continues to improve. He's a very, very good pressure fighter. I think the fight is going to start off, you know, striking back and forth. Belal's going to like mix in the takedowns, wear down JDM a little bit, but I don't think it will be able to just keep him down for long. And on the feet, I think JDM will win most of the exchanges. And in the later rounds, I think Belal won't be able to keep up on the feet with JDM, and Belal will just start shooting for anything to get him down, and he won't be able to get it. And I see JDM stopping Belal around round 4 and 5 TKO. This fight will be a freaking dog fight, man. It will be a dog fight. I don't think this will be a one-sided bout like most people are suggesting or expecting. I don't know what's going on with people's minds. But I expect a very, very good dog fight. This is definitely going to be the fight of the night. I just hope I'm not wrong, dude, because this fight, it just looks like it's going to be a dog fight, dude. Such a good fight, man. Jesus Christ. The Shevchenko fight would have been, I would have been a little bit better. Actually, I can't even say that, because the longer I'm thinking about it, probably would have been like a clinching fest or something. But look, this fight is going to be amazing. I'm just going to go with JDM, like I said, TKO 4-5. I wouldn't be surprised if JDM also won a decision, which is what a lot of people are not predicting, that JDM could also win by decision. I know Belal is the GOAT of decisions, but I think JDM could also win by decision. But yeah, man, that's going to be my predictions for each freaking fight for UFC 315. Like I said, make sure you guys are there Saturday to watch the fight with me. So hit that sub button, hit that bell on so you don't miss a notification when I go live. But with that being said, I'll see everyone very, very soon. Goodbye.